Have you ever wondered what it would take to have a day where you lived completely at peace, where nothing disturbed you? Do you think you'd have to be on a desert island? Do you think you have to be on vacation for that to happen? What if you don't? And I can show you the way to it. Stay till the end and we will help you get there. Hello and welcome to Say Yes to You and Why You Don't. For women who are great at saying yes to others, not always as great at saying yes to themselves, but are ready to make a change. I'm Claudia Braun, mindset, lifestyle, an EFT coach for women, ready to start saying yes to themselves. And for those of you who don't know me and have just recently subscribed, welcome. I have been coaching for the last 13 years. I've been in wellness for well over 20, and this is my passion to offer you tools and strategies to say yes to yourself, to move through the things that get in the way of you being your best self, and to help you release some of the things that have felt like they are you and show you actually the truth of who you are. So I'm so glad you're here. And I really appreciate your listening, sharing comments, liking, subscribing, and sharing these videos out, because I know how much people are struggling right now, and particularly women. I think we need more support, and this is about that. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this community, my community, our community. So, peace. What would that be like to have a day of peace? The other thing I do want to mention to you is I have put together a meditation for stressful times, and I'm going to put a link in here, and I hope you take advantage of it, because it's a really great opportunity to really bring some stillness into your mind, because I know how easy it is to get off track here. So having a day where you are not derailed, where your mind is giving you opportunities to be in love with you, and you are feeling the inner connection and flow, and you are just having the experience that you want to have. So how often is that happening for you? Do you feel like you have to be on vacation for that to happen? Do you feel like everybody has to go away? Do you have to feel like you have to be on a desert island? Well, first off, how realistic is that? Everybody's going to go away and you have to be on a desert island. Not realistic. And you can't live there. So what if you found the path to having peace on a regular basis in your life, and it wasn't just a place that happened because you were away, or because everybody moved out for a while, or you went away or did a retreat or something like that? How would that absolutely change your life? So I want you to consider what your day has been like so far. Maybe even consider what yesterday was like, and how much peace did you have in your day? So I know from the work I've done on myself, with my clients, that most times there isn't a lot of it. And I ask them on any given day, 0 to 10, how much peace do they feel? It's not very high. And sometimes people think, oh, I don't feel that bad because I'm about a 5 or a 6. But think about it, a 5 or a 6, constantly feeling that inner edge, that inner anxiety, that inner worry, that inner stress, what that's doing to your mind, your body, your nervous system, your sleep, your digestion, all those inner ways that you feel not at peace with yourself, at one with yourself, relaxed with yourself, is truly a detriment to you and your physical well-being. So what I know about this is that it starts with your mind. Think about how often your mind is caught up in the problem of the day, so to speak. There's something, an email that comes in, a conversation with your partner, your husband, your child, your neighbor, and then it sticks your attention. And your mind just lingers there, stays there. And then you stay in the story. And then the story gets bigger. And then you feel it. You feel it in your gut. You feel it in your chest. You feel it in your throat. You feel it in your head. You just feel that kind of mounting inner pressure. And it doesn't allow you to relax, feel at peace. And then you end up doing things you wish you weren't doing. Can't sit still. You haven't any focus, haven't any attention. Find yourself scrolling too much. Find yourself watching too many videos, maybe eating too much. You're going unconscious. And it starts with that thought, that circumstance, that situation, and it hijacks your mind. And that thought hijacking your mind then creates an entire system affecting you and robbing you of what is yours, which is your inner peace, your inner knowing, your connection to your own guidance, your connection to your own intelligence, your own knowledge. Because you know, when your mind is revved, when you're in your head, when you're worrying, you're fearful, you're projecting into the future, you're not doing your best thinking. You can't, because all the space is filled up in your head with things you're worried about. Maybe you're not even present to your family, to your children, definitely not to yourself. And all of those mindless actions have consequences. So we've talked here many times about the key to your change is awareness, but really getting that what's going on in your mind is having a ripple effect on your mind, your health, your well-being. And because it starts with a thought, it's really helpful to pay attention to what are you thinking. So many times when I ask a client, like, what happened? They don't know. They can't remember. So we unravel it and we go back and we kind of retrace your steps. Kind of like when you lose something and you go back and you retrace your steps as to where you left it. Well, it's the same thing. It's like, where did you leave your peace behind? And many times they'll say, I left it behind when I got that email, or I was in that meeting and it didn't go well, or I made a mistake and I couldn't let it go. I couldn't stop thinking about it. So much happened after that experience that they forgot about it. It got buried. So they didn't remember anymore that that was the reason that they were so upset and that they were agitated and things weren't getting done and they're making bad decisions. So there's so much power in coming back to realizing, what are you doing with your mind? What is taking your peace away? I've mentioned in here that I'm a potter, and I'd say a budding potter. I like to do things with clay. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're really nice, sometimes they're really not nice. And I have frequently reminded myself, what is taking your peace off center? And my peace, inner peace, off center, and in ceramics on the pottery wheel, you don't get anywhere unless you center a piece. So I say it to myself, what is taking my peace off center? So whether it's my pottery wheel or my mind, it is the same thing. Because when my piece on my pottery wheel is not centered, it doesn't create a very nice piece. Same thing with your mind. When your mind is not at peace, it does not create a very nice outcome. And what you can do is the key to your success. What you can do is start by coming back to awareness, having more presence in your day, paying attention to your mind, slowing it down. Because what I notice is how quickly people are moving. You might feel it in yourself, that inner rev, you have to keep up. But that feeling that you have to keep up and you keep moving really, really fast, it's going to have you make mistakes. It's not possible not to. In fact, a situation comes to mind. I was at the dentist's office and I could see that this lady, the person who handles the admin stuff, she was doing like 6 things at once. And I had asked her to do something and she said, okay, and that she would. And then she did it completely opposite of what I had asked her to do. And I thought, it's not surprising. How can she manage all that stuff? She's going so fast. I could hear it in her speech. I could hear the rev. I could see it. She had a phone line going. She was talking to me. She had something else she was doing. It's like, nobody can manage all of that and not make a mistake. It's not possible. We're not meant to be that way. You're not meant to be that way. And that's the reason that you keep grabbing caffeine or sugar to keep you going, because you're thinking you need to keep up at this pace. And my friend, you don't. And the key to your success is actually slowing it down. If you look at any of the great thinkers who have produced in this world, Einstein, Edison, they all talk about taking time in your day for ideas, for inspiration. And when you are filling every minute of your day with doing, no pause, how could you experience any inner sense of calm? It's not possible. So consider today, what's the thing you're willing to have peace around? That thing that keeps grabbing your attention, that thing that you are angsting over, worrying about, frustrated with, pushing against. What are you willing to experience some peace with? Because you know that line, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? And I know when I first heard that line, I thought, well, it's kind of a hard decision, you know? Most of us want to be right. The problem is, when you're attached to being right, you're not happy. Because most things in our life don't go exactly the way we want them to. And being able to come to acceptance with what is, and not allowing yourself to be shoved around by the experience. You give yourself such service by slowing it down, by inviting in more peace, and asking yourself, how could I experience more peace in my day? Ask yourself if you're willing to experience peace in this situation. So many times I hear it from clients, and I know I've felt this way myself, is that they don't want to have peace around it. They want to have it the way they want it. But until you're willing to allow in more peace, you can't allow something to change. So it is true that the more you're willing to let go of your attachment to how something is, the greater your peace increases. And that's hard to accept sometimes. I'm going to say it again. The more you're willing to release your attachment to how something is, the more you increase your sense of peace. So as you go through your day-to-day, look at how often you're attached to how something needs to be and how much that is taking you away from your inner peace. And what is the cost of that? You know, if you're feeling, tightness in your jaw, tightness in your neck, stomach problems, more issues with friends or clients or children, it's like it shows up everywhere. That line, wherever you go, there you are. It's going to show up wherever you take yourself. And there may be situations that you find are just easier than others. Some people are much easier to be around. No question about it. But my friend, to have more peace today, ask yourself, where am I willing to bring more peace into this situation? And maybe it's a health concern. Where are you willing to experience more peace in that? And relax some of the fears, the worries, the anxiety. Because holding on so tightly never gets you to where you want to go. Have you noticed? It just makes the road that much harder. And when you're willing to see where you're willing to bring more peace in, you open yourself up to ideas you hadn't thought about. People show up that you need to have conversations with. People offer you things that weren't being offered to you before. You release the heaviness, the walls around things having to be a certain way. You open up to possibilities. And that's what happens when you're willing to release the angst, the stress, and you're willing to bring in more peace in your day. And even just softening it towards yourself, especially softening it towards yourself, because what I know is that usually you're hardest on yourself and then it's just reflected outward. So the more you can just give yourself peace of mind to be just how it is and allow things to unfold, doing the part you need to do, but not being so attached to the outcome. And when you hold on to your peace, your work in this situation, you just take yourself for a ride that you don't need to go on. So do the part that's yours to do, and then step back, and then see what happens. Ask yourself today, where can you bring in more peace so that you can experience more peace in your day and feel the ripple effects of that? I look forward to hearing your comments and how this plays out for you. Thank you for being here with me today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Do access the meditation for stressful times. I am Claudia Braun, mindset, lifestyle, and EFT coach for women. Thank you for being here with me on Say Yes to You and Why You Don't. For women who are great, it's saying yes to others, not always is great. It's saying yes to themselves. I look forward to being here with you next week. Bye for now. Wishing you a great week.